In 1996, a game was released which perfectly encapsulated the culture of the era. It blended the digitized sprites and hyperviolence of Mortal Kombat with the colourful characters and themes of the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. And lo, WWF in your house was brought into this world, and suffering was soon to follow. This wasn't the first wrestling game to ape the visual style of Mortal Kombat. That would be the previous game in this series, WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. However, the difference is in the tone. Whereas the previous game had been over the top in a light-hearted way like NBA Jam, In Your House doubles down on its Mortal Kombat heritage and brings the violence to the fore. Wrestling fans will likely be happy with the roster, which included popular wrestlers of the era like Shawn Michaels, The Ultimate Warrior, and British Bulldog. They all have signature movesets, which is appropriate, since this game feels more like a fighting game than a normal wrestling game. That is actually part of the appeal of this game. Despite the wrestling trappings, this is really a fighting game at its heart. Not a very good one, mind you, but a fighting game nonetheless. There are special moves, multiple stages, and even Mortal Kombat style finishing moves. So, as you can see, this game wears its influences on its sleeve. Surprisingly, the visuals have not aged nearly as badly as you may have expected, and it can be argued that this is actually a much more appealing looking game in this day and age than the majority of its 3D counterparts from that era. The commentary and sound effects are fun to start, but quickly become pretty repetitive. It's certainly no worse than the majority of games from that generation, but players today will notice lines being repeated within a couple of matches, and it only gets worse from there. Evaluating a wrestling game is always a tough gig, since even the bad ones can be pretty fun in multiplayer. This is probably the best way to look at this one too. If you have the sort of friends who can look past the stiff gameplay and dated presentation, there is enough dumb fun here to make an afternoon out of. Just don't expect a good game.
Rest in peace.